Hey Betsy, this is Chris. Just wanted to go over a few things and show you your progress that you've been making over the last week or so with your swing. So on the right here is the old grip, and you can see how what I call these V's, or the spaces between your thumb and your index finger on each hand, are pointing in somewhat of a different direction. I'm going to show you with the arrow as well. So you can see how this one's pointing up your right arm this way, and this one's pointing up your left arm that way. So what we did is, the first day we put the grip a little bit more in the fingers, not in the palm, the fingers, and we rotated a little bit counterclockwise. So now you can see how these are actually working a little bit more in unison. They're pointing more in the same direction. You'll also notice with the picture, you can see more of this glove logo rather than here. You can see it's pointing in the opposite direction. So really good job on making that change. And the other change we made the first day was in your backswing, trying to keep you a little bit more still. Now again, like I said, this is two different clubs, but ideally the swing stays the same with both clubs. It shouldn't really change. The only thing that changes is the actual club that you're using. So the first day we tried to stay a little bit more still over the ball because we moved a lot. So you'll see the progress that you did here. And you did a great job of that. So that's going to make it a lot easier for you to get ground contact, and also very easy for you to be consistent with your swing. The more, remember, the more moving parts, the harder it is for the club face to get back to the ball the same way every time. The only thing that we found doing this, and again, this is something you didn't know and you weren't sure that you were supposed to do, is that with the driver you're making a full, complete swing here, and you go all the way to the balanced finish. Whereas with your irons, you are making more of a half swing motion going through and stopping. So what we talked about is just making sure that you go through completely on your iron swings as well. So what we talked a little bit more about in our second lesson yesterday was more about the finishing the swing and staying level in your posture. So what I mean by that, I'm going to show you an image here. So we just talked about if you ever find yourself having trouble hitting the ground again, a lot of the times maybe you're making a little bit too big of a swing, and you're trying again, making too big of a swing, and you're coming out of your angles or your posture. So everyone has their posture when you set up, and you'll see this is one of the lady professionals. I'll just put a little circle around her head here too so you can see. You'll see that she maintains her posture here throughout her swing. So you can see even when she goes in her backswing, she doesn't go out of those lines. They stay the same. And she comes through, stays the same. And that enables her to drive through with her legs and actually hit the ground and the ball. If you come out of those angles at all, let's just say you change and you're standing up a little bit taller, and you wind up here. And that means that club head here is going to be somewhere in this area instead of being on the ground. So it's going to be really difficult for you to hit the ground when you're up there. So that was part of the thing we discussed yesterday, just to make sure you're staying in your posture and you're driving through with your legs to hit the ground. What we did also, we did some pitching, and I told you that this would really help you with your motion going through the ball and ensuring that you're going to get ground contact. And the reason for that is because we're presetting what we call impact. So if I bring you, this is with your iron, so you can see how your legs are actually moving. Your right knee is driving to the ball, and now your weight when you hit the ball is on the inside of your left leg. So what we've done here in the pitching and the chipping by the green, you've actually just put your weight forward. So we moved it, we put your weight on your forward leg and down this, down the inside of your left leg, and we shifted everything kind of towards the target. You can see that. And we put the ball position slightly back in your stance. And this is going to ensure that we're going to drive down and make ground contact. And I think that this will really give you the confidence you need to keep hitting the ground over and over again and overcome that fear of taking a big chunk of grass out of there. So this is just a great way to practice that motion. We're taking these chip shots with a small swing And like I said, from this close, this is probably 10 to 15 yards off the green. And I said to try to keep the club at about knee height, and I think you did a great job with that if I drew a line to show you. You can see it's right about knee height. A little bit higher is okay. And it goes through, hits the ground beautifully, and it goes up to about the knee height. And then gradually, as we did in the lesson, you can progress backwards 10 to 15 yards at a time, and then just gradually make the swing a little bit bigger. Maybe the next time you go from hip high to hip high with the club, and then the next time you go from shoulder high to shoulder high with the club. And but the main thing is to make sure that you start with your weight more on the inside of your left legs, and the ball position either back or a little bit more in the center of your stance. I think that's really going to help you drive through and really get that confidence down that you need to hit the ground. So with that, really good work, and keep up the progress. And I know that you're going to be out here practicing, because you said you wanted to go catch those 18-holers and be part of that group soon. And I think by the end of the summer, I think you have the potential to start playing with them. It's just about being out here and just getting more comfortable with everything. So look forward to seeing you next week.